Last month, a bone stock $20,000 Honda S2000 sold for $25,000. That's not a typo. It's what the car originally cost when it rolled off the showroom floor a quarter century ago. Zero depreciation over 25 years. And that's for an average example. Pristine models? We're seeing 70 grand and climbing. Here's what's happening. The collectors who bought Supras and Skylines 10 years ago are now hunting for the next wave of Japanese performance cars, hitting the 25-year import threshold. And they've got deeper pockets than ever. But it's not just JDM legends seeing this surge. Hagerty just released their 2025 bull market list, and the average model year is 2001, a full decade newer than their 2023 predictions. Translation? The cars millennials and Gen Z lusted after in high school are officially entering collector territory, and prices are responding accordingly. The window is closing fast on 11 specific models that are still relatively affordable, but based on recent auction data, forum chatter, and insurance quote trends, that won't last long. Every financial advisor will tell you that cars are terrible investments. The average vehicle loses 45.6% of its value over 5 years. Drive it off the lot, lose 3 grand instantly, except when you don't. The Porsche 911 lost just 19.5% over 5 years. The Chevy Corvette, 27%. But here's the part nobody saw coming. A 2006 Dodge Magnum SRT8, a 5,000-pound station wagon with a Hemi, has appreciated 39% since anyone cared about it. Something fundamental shifted in the collector car market. Gen Z and millennials who supposedly only want Teslas and subscriptions are buying up 90s and 2000s performance cars faster than boomers bought muscle cars in the 80s. Nearly 60% of Gen Z wants to own a collector car, compared to just 31% of boomers. And they're doing it before prices fully catch up to demand. These 11 models? That catch-up is happening right now. Number 11, Lamborghini Gallardo. Current price range, $90,000 to $120,000 for clean examples. When Akon rapped about his Gallardo in the mid-2000s, it was the attainable supercar. Now it's the forgotten middle child while Hurricanes and Urus's steal attention. That won't last, and Hagerty knows it. The Gallardo has only appreciated 7% since 2019, while other Lamborghinis doubled in value. That growing gap is exactly what makes this interesting. We're talking about the last naturally aspirated V10 Lamborghini with a proper 6-speed manual transmission. 500 plus horsepower, none of the electronic nannies, all of the drama. The kind of car where the driving experience matters more than the spec sheet, which is precisely what today's supercar buyers are rediscovering. Sure, 90 grand isn't exactly cheap in the traditional sense, but for a baby Lambo, it's a steal. Base C5 Corvettes from the same era sold for similar money when new, and nobody's calling those exotic. The Gallardo offered genuine supercar theater at sports car money, and clean 6-speed manuals are only getting harder to find. Hagerty projects this as the entry point before values align with the Murcielago and Aventador. Translation: get in now or watch from the sidelines. Number 10, Ferrari 400 and 412. Current price range, $50,000 to $90,000. This is the Ferrari that enthusiasts hated. Automatic transmission, in a Ferrari, usable back seats, legitimate luggage space, the kind of grand tour you could actually daily drive. Purists called it soft. Now they're calling it visionary, and prices have responded accordingly. The Ferrari 400 and 412 represent the last affordable Enzo-era Ferrari you can buy. These V12 Grand Tours have appreciated 50% since 2019, but they're still cheap compared to other vintage Ferraris. We're talking about elegant Pininfarina design that's aged impeccably well, paired with a bulletproof V12 that'll run forever if you maintain it properly. Which, by the way, costs real Ferrari money. But that's true of any prancing horse. Here's what nobody understood in the 80s. Ferrari built a car you could actually use. The automatic transmission meant you could sit in traffic without your left leg cramping. The comfortable seats meant road trips were pleasant. The refined ride meant you didn't arrive at your destination with your fillings rattled loose. Everything that made purists scoff is exactly what makes collectors appreciate it now. Number 9. Mercedes-Benz G500. Current price range, $40,000 to $60,000. Before they became hip-hop icons and mall crawlers, G-Wagons were serious off-road machines built by hand in Austria. The 2002 to 2008 G500 represents that old-school era: V8 power, solid axles, actual capability, and none of the bling that defines modern G-Class ownership. These were 70 to 80 grand new and considered overpriced. Current G-Wagons start at $140,000. Do the math on where values are trending. The pre-AMG G500 is still relatively available compared to the rarer variants. The six-wheelers and landaules already command astronomical prices. But still plenty around won't last. Gen X is collecting SUVs aggressively, with over half of insured H1 Hummers owned by Gen X buyers, according to Hagerty's data. What makes the G500 special is its position as the last affordable entry into hand-built Mercedes luxury, with genuine off-road pedigree. These aren't crossovers pretending to be tough. They're legitimate rock crawlers that happen to have heated seats and wood trim. The solid axles, low-range transfer case, and 3 locking differentials mean you can actually use them for their intended purpose, or just appreciate that you could if you wanted to. Number 8. Volvo P1800. Current price range, $25,000 to $45,000. This is what Volvo built before they became known for boxy wagons and Labrador-friendly cargo areas. The P1800 was Volvo's answer to the question, what if we made something beautiful? Italian curves, Swedish reliability, and starring role in the BBC series The Saint, all combined to create the Un Volvo. Classic design that never ages is worth money. Always has been, always will be. The P1800 benefits from an 11-year production run, which means examples are still available on the market. But available and common aren't the same thing. And as the supply of original, unmolested examples shrinks, values have been trending upward according to Hagerty's tracking. Here's what you're getting for 25 to 45 grand. A budget Ferrari GT with infinitely better reliability. The P1800 won't explode your maintenance budget like Italian exotics, but it delivers similar driving character and visual appeal. It's the gentleman's sports car, refined, elegant, timeless. The kind of car that draws knowing nods from people who understand automotive design rather than horsepower figures. Number 7. Mini Cooper S. Current price range, $8,000 to $18,000. The first modern Mini made BMW's accountants nervous. Take a 1960s British icon, make it relevant for the iPod generation, and hope people show up. They showed up in force, and the R53 Cooper S with its supercharged engine became the sweet spot before later models got bloated and turboed. Hagerty's 2025 bull market list specifically calls out the 2020 to 2026 Mini Cooper S, and it's not hard to see why. Go-kart handling, distinctive retro design, and that supercharger whine combined to create peak millennial nostalgia. These were the cars young professionals bought when they got their first real job. Now those same buyers have money and want to recapture that feeling, except clean examples are getting harder to find. The R53 supercharged cars are the ones to own. Later turbocharged models don't have the same character, and the supercharger's instant throttle response makes the car feel faster than the numbers suggest. We're talking about a genuinely fun city car that can also embarrass cars with twice the horsepower on a twisty road. The chassis is that good. Number 6. Honda Prelude. Current price range, $5,000 to $15,000. Honda killed the Prelude because the Accord got too good. Now people realize they killed the wrong car. The 5th generation Prelude from 1997 to 2001 represents the best handling front-wheel drive Honda ever made, and that's saying something considering Honda's reputation for chassis dynamics. The Type SH models with active torque transfer system are the money spec. This wasn't some basic limited slip differential. This was a computer-controlled system that could send up to 70% of power to the outside front wheel during cornering, making front-wheel drive feel like rear-wheel drive. Combined with double wishbone suspension all around and VTEC's 200 naturally aspirated horsepower, the Prelude Type SH delivered driving dynamics that embarrassed cars costing twice as much. Here's the interesting detail. Honda's engineers spent an enormous amount of money developing ATTS, and they only used it in one car for one generation. That kind of engineering exclusivity tends to drive collector interest, and Haggerty's insurance quote, "Trends confirm strong interest from millennials remembering these fondly." Number 5. Toyota MR2. Current price range, $10,000 to $20,000 for Spyders, $10,000 to $65,000 for SW20, depending on condition. A pristine 1995 MR2 Turbo with 67,000 miles just sold for $61,750 on Bring a Trailer. Let that sink in. We're talking about a Toyota that originally cost around 25 grand new, and clean turbocharged examples are now commanding serious money. The second generation SW20M R2 from 1990 to 1999 features Ferrari-inspired design at Miata money, or at least it used to be Miata money. Mid-engine, rear drive, naturally balanced chassis, and with the turbo motor, proper performance to back up the looks. Toyota engineers studied the Ferrari 348 and created something that captured the exotic mid-engine experience without the exotic maintenance bills. The average MR2 currently sells for $19,591, but that number masks huge variation. Clean turbocharged SW20s are bringing 30 to 40 grand, while rough examples still sell for under 15. The market has bifurcated. Pristine examples with documentation are appreciating rapidly, while project cars stay cheap because nobody wants someone else's half-finished disaster. The third generation Spyder from 2000 to 2005 offers a different proposition. These are the lightweight, back-to-basics roadsters with Toyota reliability and balanced mid-engine handling. They're still relatively affordable at 10 to 20 grand, making them the entry point into mid-engine Toyota ownership. Number 4. Ford Bronco 2. Current price range, $8,000 to $20,000. These were the subject of wrongful death lawsuits because they'd tip over if you looked at them wrong. Now, that's considered character. Gen Z loves the danger, and 38% of Bronco 2 buyers are under 35, according to Haggerty's demographic data. The 1984 to 1990 Bronco 2 just made Haggerty's 2025 bull market list, and it's one of the few 1980s SUVs remaining budget-friendly. Values are up 4% since 2021, which doesn't sound dramatic until you realize most vehicles depreciated during that period. The combination of Ford truck underpinnings, meaning easy maintenance and modification, plus legitimate off-road capability and pure 80s aesthetic creates exactly what young enthusiasts want. Baby Bronco with boxy styling, available four-wheel drive, and enough room for weekend adventures without being a full-size truck. These were everywhere in the 80s, but rust and hard use took their toll. Finding clean examples gets harder every year, especially in the Rust Belt where salt destroyed the frames. Southern trucks with solid frames command premiums, and collectors are starting to hoard the best examples. The Bronco name recognition helps. When Ford brought back the Bronco and couldn't keep up with demand, people remembered these existed. The rollover controversy that dogged them in period actually adds to the outlaw appeal now. These are trucks for people who want danger, not safety ratings. Plus, the Radwood aesthetic movement embraced 80s vehicle design, and the Bronco 2 looks right at home next to Countach's and Testarossas. Number 3. Datsun 280ZX. Current price range, $8,000 to $25,000 depending on condition and turbo. For decades, enthusiasts dismissed the 280ZX as the fat, soft, disappointing follow-up to the beloved 240Z. Heavier, slower, more grand tourer than sports car. Everything that made purists scoff is exactly what collectors want now. And Haggerty's 2025 bull market list confirms the 1978 to 1983 280ZX is catching on. Here's what people missed. The ZX offered the appeal of the original Z at a fraction of the cost. with the bonus of actually being comfortable enough to drive long distances. T-tops, digital dash, air conditioning, power options. This was a Japanese GT car that you could daily drive without hating your life. The turbo models delivered legitimate performance with 180 horsepower in an era when that meant something. The first Turbo Z deserves recognition for that alone. Datsun beat BMW and Porsche to the mass-market turbocharged sports car, and the 280ZX Turbo's combination of boost and 80s tech creates a time capsule driving experience. Pop-up headlights, angular design, and that wonderful turbo spool from a period-correct wastegate. This is what fast looked like in 1981, and the aesthetic has aged better than anyone expected. Non-turbo automatics won't appreciate much. They're just comfortable cruisers. But turbo manuals with T-tops? Those are becoming the money cars. Clean examples under 20 grand represent the last affordable entry into Classic Z ownership, because clean 240Zs already bring 40 to 60 grand. The 280ZX offers similar driving character, better reliability, more comfort, and significantly less money. That value proposition is temporary. Number 2. Dodge Magnum SRT8. Current price range, $18,000 to $32,000 for excellent examples. Dodge looked at the Charger platform and asked, what if we made it haul plywood? The result was one of history's rowdiest station wagons, and it's appreciated 39% over the last 5 years. When was the last time you saw one? Exactly. Only about 4,000 total Magnum SRT8s were made across 3 model years. 2,000, 720 in 2006, 885 in 2007, and just 240 in 2008. Final year models are especially rare, and rarity drives value in the collector market. That 6.1-liter Hemi V8 makes 425 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds. Top speed of 170 miles per hour in a station wagon. The original MSRP was $37,995, which equals $59,870 in 2025 money accounting for inflation. Pristine low-mileage examples are approaching original MSRP, which means zero depreciation over 17 years. For a Dodge, that doesn't happen unless something special is going on. What's going on is collectors recognizing that nothing else like this exists. Mercedes supplied the 5-speed automatic, Brembo supplied the brakes, and Dodge supplied the audacity to build it in the first place. 27.2 cubic feet of cargo space with the seats up, 71.6 with them folded down. You could pick up your kids from school and embarrass Corvettes on the way home. That combination of practical utility and genuine performance creates exactly the kind of absurd vehicle that becomes collectible. Number 1. Pontiac Firebird Trans Am WS6. Current price range, $15,000 to $40,000 depending on mileage and condition. When the Trans Am died in 2002, Car and Driver listed the WS6 in their top 10 cars you must drive before you die. Not a Firebird, not a Trans Am, specifically the WS6. They recognized it then. The market's figuring it out now, and clean examples are already climbing past 30 grand with no signs of slowing down. The LS1-powered Trans Am WS6 from 1998 to 2002 matches C5 Corvette performance at half the price. Same 5.7-liter LS1 V8, same 310 to 325 horsepower, same basic performance. 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds. Quarter mile in 13.6 seconds at 106 miles per hour. Car and Driver tested both, and the numbers don't lie. You're getting Corvette guts in aggressive bodywork with functional ram air hood scoops and upgraded WS6 suspension. Jay Leno called it probably the best muscle car Pontiac ever built. That's high praise from someone who owns hundreds of cars and actually drives them. The WS6 package added ram air induction, performance tires, upgraded Bilstein shocks, and revised gearing. It transformed the Trans Am from boulevard cruiser into legitimate backroad weapon. The steering is direct, the brakes are strong, And the LS1 makes all the right sounds without any of the maintenance drama that plagues Italian exotics. Here's why this is number one. You're buying the last GMF body ever made? The Firebird ended in 2002. Pontiac died in 2010. Neither is coming back. This is the last true analog muscle car before everything got electronic nannies and turbo fours. Manual transmissions commanded premiums then, and command bigger premiums now. Finding a 6-speed WS6 in clean condition means you found something genuinely rare. The special editions drive even more value. The 1999 30th Anniversary Edition, white with blue stripes and blue wheels, was limited production and already brings strong money. The 2002 Collector Edition in bright yellow with black stripes was the final send-off, and clean examples are pushing 40 grand. Even base WS6s in good condition are climbing rapidly because people recognize what's being lost. The catch is T-top cars are more common than hardtops, and T-tops leak. Check for water damage carefully. The Opti Spark ignition system on 1996 to 1997 LT1 models has a reputation for failure. The later LS1 cars from 1998 to 2002 are more reliable, and that LS1 reliability is legendary. These engines regularly see 200,000 miles with basic maintenance and respond beautifully to modifications if you're into that. The pattern couldn't be clearer. Millennials and Gen Z are collecting the cars they couldn't afford in high school, and they're doing it before prices fully catch up to demand. The S2000 already crossed into expensive territory. The Trans Am WS6 is climbing fast. Everything else on this list is following the same trajectory, and you've got maybe 12 to 24 months before affordable means something very different. These aren't financial investments. They're enthusiast cars that happen to hold value. But if you're buying something fun anyway, might as well choose something that won't crater the moment you sign the paperwork. Check out our video on 10 modern cars that'll cost you a fortune after warranty to see which new cars to avoid.